Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, the journalist Sin-seer, and today we have a very special guest, Toney Boi. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thanks for having me, brother.
No doubt we're going to talk a little bit about your history, your new project, Patient Pays on Piff Music Empire. But before we do all that, let's take it back a little bit. Where was Toney Boi born and raised?
Buffalo, New York. I was, raised in Buffalo, New York, moved around a lot. As a shorty, my father was in the military. So lived in Florida, lived in Seattle, lived in North Carolina for a little bit. But Buffalo's always been home.
Moving around so much, what were you witnessing as far as music? Maybe not so much hip hop, but music in general. What were you witnessing on the scenes in those various states?
Well, my father's real big into jazz. So he used to take me to all these, like free concerts and jazz concerts and like all these jazz festivals. I would be the little homie tagging along. So I feel like that just kind of like opened up my palate to not be afraid to to listen to other things and try to experiment with things.
Right. So, what point do you start really getting into hip hop, and what were some of your musical influences before getting into hip hop?
Oh man, so I think I made my first recording back in 2005, no 2004, and that's what I got two brothers that rap too, so like we was just getting out of school, going home, waiting for my Dukes to come home and just rapping, making noise until she told us to stop.
Right.
But like our first influences, it's a spectrum, like a little bit of everything. So like I love like trap music, you know what I'm saying? I love Gucci Man and all that stuff, like sonically. But I grew up listening to Tribe Called Quest and Jay Dilla and whatever. So like I was always an open book to whatever it was rap wise. I was never really like, oh, like this is new school, I don't mess with it, or it's old school, I don't mess with it. Man, I always try to find a way to bridge the gap.
All right. What came first for you, rap or producing?
Rap.
Okay.
Rap was first, and then back in, it was 2015, I went to Full Sail University down in Florida, and I learned how to mix and master. I was already doing that, not professionally, but then I went down there, got my degree in science and audio, and then I came back to Buffalo 2017. And funny story, like a lot of people back down in Florida, before I moved back to Buffalo, they're like, why don't you go to Nashville, go to Miami, go to LA, go to New York City, all these recording hubs. But I knew Westside Gunn. So I already knew West. So I was like, hey, I need to go tap in with what's going on there. And then the rest is kind of like snowballed down the line.
Right. You said your first release was in 2004, 2005?
I mean, you wouldn't really call it a release back then, like just like mixtapes, like writing on a blank CD, getting
Right.
it to homies in school. So I mean, I guess if you want to consider it a release, yeah. But I would consider it's probably like 2009-ish where we finally put something on that Piff and then got something on iTunes. But I don't even think that stuff's still up there. It's so old.
That was the good old days.
Yeah.
What was it? Mix tape unit? Mix. A lot of downloads going on during that time. What kind of feedback were you getting off of stuff like that Piff and some of those sites?
We were getting some real good feedback because like we were doing the sponsors like to get your tape on the top of the website and all that. So like, and at the time, like that was like you needed to be in the know of how to get on that Piff. So like to other local MCs or whatever, it's like, yo, like I seen you on that Piff, that's fire. So like, like I always try to stay ahead of the curve. I'm trying to, promote what we had going on.
Right. Any deals around that time, or were you just strictly independent?
We were independent. I signed a one album deal with this record label, and it never worked out because they wanted to take their, we'll call them friends, and promote them before us, me and my boys. But like it is what it is. Like I learned a lot, and I ended up signing another deal down the road. Didn't work out, but now I'm here with Piff Music with Jamal Gasol, and me and him been working together for like 5 years now. So that's my man's.
Right. You talked a little earlier about Westside Gunn. How did you two connect?
So kind of going back to where me and my boys we were rapping and whatnot. We had a real good run in the town, opening up for any major artist that came into the city, and he just kind of bubbled up doing his thing. I'm real good friends with Derringer too. Me and Derringer used to DJ together and whatnot. So Derringer handed me a CD. We started kicking it. One day I get a phone call from Monk, Camouflage Monk, another good friend of mine, and we meet over at the spot on like Westside Buffalo, sit down, talk, and that was history. Then like we just been kicking it ever since. Even when I moved to Florida, we had a rapport. It's like, hey, what are you learning down there? Like, is there anything I can help you with, and vice versa. So like, well, Wes a solid cat.
What year was that about?
That had to be 2014, end of 13ish, around there.
Okay. And then where did you find yourself within that camp? Were you producing more, rapping more?
I was engineering a lot for them, doing a lot of recording. Uh, like I only got one song with Benny, and that's from like 2015. I got another one with Conway, but we couldn't get it cleared. But I worked on Wes's the Then You Pray for Me, so like I got to work with all three of them in different lights. But all solid dudes, all real solid dudes. They're really big about pushing Buffalo forward and bringing the right people around so that everybody can get a piece of this and we can keep growing.
Right. What were you witnessing with those guys earlier on?
Oh, I mean, they're cool dudes, man. Like for me, it was more so. Oops. It was more so just to see them do something on that level out of a small city where we really don't have that many outlets. So I used to go to Toronto. I still to this day I go to Toronto a lot because big city, million people, millions of people there. You can get into whatever. So watching them do what they did in a small city where we really don't have those outlets was just like intriguing to me. So like I said, me and Wes became friends just off of pure passion. You know what I mean? I loved hip hop. He loved hip hop, and I was trying to do the same thing he doing.
Right. As far as your MCing, what's your creative process?
Oh man, it varies. It varies. Some days a beat just talks to me, and I just start penning. Some days I might walk in and have something, a thought in my head, and I build off that. I might come in and look through an old folder or old notebook. Like, hey, let's see what I got in here that'll spark something.
Right.
So like it's just really however it feels that day.
As far as production goes, your creative process, do you usually tailor your beat towards a certain MC, or is it just whatever you feel and whoever gravitates toward that sound?
Oh yeah, very very experimental with the beats. I try not to think of MCs making beats because in a lot of instances when I do try to make beats for MCs, they don't like them. I make these other joints just messing around, and then it's like, yo, that's the one. I'm like, okay. So
Right.
I just make whatever goes and then play a bunch of whatever, bunch of vibes and see if people like it.
Right. You talked a little bit about Westside, Benny, Conway. Who are some of the other artists that you've had placements with?
Man, J Skis, El Camino. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Brad Piff. Brad Piff, he's from Rochester. I got a song with Ito. I got a song with Salt Ice. On the project, Mickey Diamond and Napoleon the Legend. I'm on one of Napoleon's albums a few years back. But just like little small wins. Look, like I didn't really want to go too far out the spectrum of what I was trying to do because like I'm not really a camera person. You know what I mean? I just want to make the music. If I can stay behind the scene, that'd be cool.
Right. You talked about maybe your first major release around 2009 with Dat Piff. After that, where did you find yourself, and what was your next release following that?
My next release after that was a project called Leaders of the New Cool, and that's on Bandcamp. And that was basically like a going away, me leaving Buffalo project to go to Florida and to do all that. So I had a whole release party, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Kadir Latif.
Yeah.
He came and opened up the show for me, and yeah, that was probably the last one. And then when I came back to Buffalo, I dropped Cool for Thought, then I dropped Ugly Luxury, dropped Drunk Uncle. I just got real busy when I came back.
Right. And that was around what, 2020?
That so that's we'll call it 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, I dropped Cool for Thought, and then I think I dropped one a year every year since then.
COVID kind of took over in 2020, and I know you dropped a few projects during that time. Kind of take us back to, COVID hitting. Did that spark your creative process? What were you going through during that time?
So when COVID hit, it was kind of cool because uh, Jay Skis had caught motion. He just got picked up by Conway. So at the time, I was his main engineer. So like we just kept cooking. Like I'm probably with him every other day, and just putting out content, trying to get have stuff for the stash or whatever. So in the process of that, there's a project I dropped called Just Over Broke, and that's all. I think it's all Buffalo MCs except for two, and like one's from Toronto, the other one's from Rochester. But it's like 30 tracks, and I was making beats, and hey, like you like this, like send it back, and then here we are. And now we got a 30-track project. I didn't rap on it once.
Wow. What kind of feedback did that project get?
I got real good feedback, like more so just because of the reach of like having 30 plus artists together. And like I had jazz artists on there. I had bass players that play with Lizzo and shit. Like it was a real wide open spectrum of music. It wasn't all just hip hop.
Right. How did you get with Gaines for Project 77 in 2021?
So Gaines is my brother.
Wow.
And I said it's a blessing, man. It's like I got somebody that talented in my family, and then I got my other brother, Skate Cobain, and he's on a new project too. But me and Gaines, man, like man, it's like I will put me and Gaines up against the Locks. Like if like if you want to go on some back and forth or like just having chemistry, me and him, because we've been doing it forever. So like that's my ace in the hole right there.
Right. Talk a little bit about the Quality Cost project in 2022.
Quality Cost, that was just a quick, I was with Camouflage Monk at the time. We was doing some traveling, and just put some tracks together. I think I got who's on there. I got Wise Wonder and Dante from Toronto. I think Kadir Latif is on that one. Um, K Burns is on there. He's a New York cat now. He's out in the West Coast. And they like just like little small wins. Like I was looking at it like that. I want to be able to get small wins and continue to progress with the music instead of trying to put out a bunch of major albums. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to be able to put the small wins out there, and then people will find them as we keep building.
Right. Where'd you find yourself 2023? I don't think any projects dropped, but I'm sure you were focusing more maybe on production during that time.
Yeah, so 23, that's when Wes kidnapped me for a little bit, and we worked on was it Pray For Us, Then You Pray For Us. I was working on a lot of Conway stuff that I was really engineering a lot more in 23. So I was just really, preparing for this time, like being a fly on the wall and learning or like everything that they're doing and what I don't want to do, what I do need to do, things like that. So like I was just a student of the game.
Speaking of that, what were your takeaways and what was your thoughts on the do's and don'ts, trials and errors?
Oh man, is I would say to rock because it's I can talk about this for a minute, but like I said, it's more so knowing about what you don't want to do. I feel like it's the most important, and if you can engage that into things you want to do, then like you've done something right.
Right. Talk a little bit about Weekend at Toney's that dropped earlier this year. You came out hard 2024. Talk a little bit about that project.
Weekend at Toney's was literally the reintroduction of of me back rapping because I hadn't rapped in 2 years at this point. So I was like, hey, I got a few tracks. If you listen to Weekend at Toney's, you can hear me say Patience Pays in it probably twice because it was supposed to be some of what Patience Pays is. But I was like, you know what? I got extra tracks. Let me dump some out, and then I'll do Patience Pays as a whole nother project. So, like, that was supposed to be Patience Pays, but at that time I just signed a deal with Gasol too with Piff Music Empire, so I needed something to let people know that I like, hey, I got music, and so like, yeah, let's put out a little quick 7 joints. I actually released that on my birthday.
Okay, dope. Patience Pays is out now on Piff Music Empire. Talk a little bit about the creative process going into that.
Oh man, like I said, like Patience Pays was something that I had already been kind of formulating. So when Gasol came to me with the opportunity, it's funny because at first I thought he was joking because like I'm his engineer too. So like he had put up like, yo, I'm looking for artists, this, that, and the third. I put up a little comment, yeah, put me in the game, coach. He calls me like, yo, like, are you serious? So I'm like, oh, okay, word. Like I already got a couple tracks or building, had the title, and like I said, like real solid dude. Me and him got a real good working relationship, and like he just kind of encouraged me to like, yo, get back on it. Like I trust you.
Talk a little bit about the guest appearances. I know you got Lloyd Banks, Skate Cobain, others. Talk a little bit about who we can expect.
I wish I had Banks on there.
Oh, it's not Banks.
No, it's not Banks. So my man Il Tone, who produced No Scale, he has beats that he's got to Banks. So like that when they did the write up, they made it look like Banks is on there. I'm like, nah.
Okay.
But Il Tone, real good dude. He makes a lot of beats for Camino, and like they just did some joints with like Inspector Deck and whatnot. But Mickey Diamond, I was a fan. I was a real big fan when he was dropping the big ghost joints.
Mm.
So I was just tapping in with those. I was such a fan to the point where I'm putting my brothers on like, yo, y'all got to check this kid out. Like, well, he a grown ass man, but you got you got to go check this dude out. He's fire. To the point where I'm walking up to my brothers and they playing him. So that I was like, all right, I gotta go get this feature. So like I chopped him out, got that one. Me and Napoleon go way back to my man Jay Ruckus, rest in peace. We brought Napoleon to Buffalo a couple times. Jay Skis, that's my brother. Then like my real brothers, Skate Cobain and Gaines, and then Ro Cook. He was in a group with us back in the day. And then actually on that same song, my big cousin made the beat, and then my little cousin is on the hook. So that's like a whole family, a whole family track.
Talk a little bit about the producers on this project.
Yeah, like I said, so my cousin Nam, he did the Amore Fraternal joint, Camouflage Monk on the Mickey Diamond. Um, my man Age, I gotta shout out my man Age. Age killed this project, and me and him, we went to Full Sail together. And I always tell him like, yo, if he wasn't there, I probably would have left Full Sail, bro. Like I was ready to go. I didn't have no hip hop friends, and he just came out of nowhere and was like, hey, yo, I make beats. And
Right.
we kicking it, and like, man, like that's been my ace and another one of my aces ever since. Um, and then I made a bunch of the beats for actually all the beats for the interludes. So I just trying to like spread the sound around a little bit. Like I really love like Jay Dilla and what I mean, like that bouncy feel. So I've definitely tried to accomplish that with this project too.
What were some of your favorite songs on this project?
Ooh,
I know they're like your babies, and you can't just one or
the
two, but
probably means the most to me. Excuse me. Struggle Packs, because that's a story of literally me and my boy Age in Florida trying to go buy beer, and they only sold 4 packs. We was trying to get a 6 pack, whatever. They only sold 4 packs of beer. So we called them struggle packs because like they're missing 2 beers.
right.
So like that one holds a special spot to me as far as the story. But the hardest record on there it's got to be between the Mickey Diamond and the Skis joint.
Mm.
Like that, those two just man, they just take it somewhere else.
Talk a little bit about some of the feedback that you've been getting so far off of this project.
Oh man, it seems like France is eating it up right now. Like all the France blogs and the France radio shows. I just did a drop for a French radio joint the other day, and like I'm like, hey, whatever works, works. We were supposed to go on tour over there back in October, but we had some holdups and whatnot. So if that's just good think forward of like, hey, if we ever go back over there, France gonna be tapped in.
Right. You have tour dates already lined up?
Yeah, so right now I'm also Jay Skis' tour DJ too. So we got a couple days coming up in January. I was supposed to go overseas with Camouflage Monk and I guess be like the opening DJ, or I don't know what we really how we're gonna make that one work. But yeah, like DJing is another one of my skills that pays the bills.
Renaissance man.
Hey, I try to stay working, man. Like me going to Full Sail was like actually me trying to figure out how I could stay active in this industry without rapping.
Right. From beginning to end, how long do you think it took you to put this project together?
Um, Man, unofficially I say about a year, because like I said, I had already started working on it by the time I had dropped Weekend at Tony's. So I took some of those off Patience Pays, put them on Weekend at Tony's, and made a few more records. So I would say about an honest year.
Okay. Where can the fans purchase this product? Websites, streaming. Where is this available at?
It's on all DSPs. I actually dropped the ball at putting it on Bandcamp, but I'm gonna do that uh, as soon as possible. Um, but yeah, it's on all DSPs. I know we had a naming issue because I spelled my name the way it's listed here, but on this project it's Toney Boi, one word.
Mm,
So I had to like direct people to it, but it's still catching. People are finding it. As long as they're finding it, I'm cool. I'm not really tripping on analytics.
right. You also throw events under the name Art Dealer?
Yeah, so Art Dealer is me and Camouflage Monk. And like we had a bunch of ice. Have you ever heard of the Boiler Room?
Yep.
So like I implemented like a Buffalo version of the Boiler Room, and we would have a few producers and two or three MCs, and just have a good night. And just we had did 24 of those monthly, so like 2 years straight of those. And then we brought in Daniel's son. We had Benny on stage. Who else did we bring in? We brought out Ito. Probably gonna try to bring out Mickey Diamond. Just for that part of the culture, for people that enjoy that style of rap.
Right. What do you got planned for 2025?
Oh man, just traveling right now. Um, I know I'm gonna drop another project. I haven't really thought about titling, but I got tracks in the stash. I got another compilation that's pretty much done. J Ski is on there, El Camino on there. And then I got another project with Dante in Toronto that's pretty much done. I just gotta they're waiting on me. I gotta put down 2 verses. But other than that, like yeah, I'm always working, so it's always gonna be something in the works. But 2025, I might drop both of these projects by the end of this year. I don't know. Like
Right. Anything outside of music you're working on? Maybe
um
clothing line. Any other avenues you're looking to explore?
uh not really, man. Like I feel like I'm so deep into the music that like I let like Monk and the other guys handle that. So like I say, I engineer, I DJ, I throw events like that. I'm already swamped in. I don't need to be doing anything else.
Right. What keeps Toney Boi going as far as being creative and putting out music? What influences you to keep putting out quality music?
Oh man, that's a great question. What influenced me to keep putting out quality music? Um, Man, that's a tough question. I guess I would have to say just like the camaraderie. Keep meeting dope people, and met a lot of good friends out of the process. So I mean, that would have to be the main thing, because like everybody that I've worked with, I can say are friends now.
Right. Big shout out to Jerry for connecting us. Before we get out of here, can you shout out your social media and where we can keep up with Toney Boi moving in the future?
Yes, sir. You can find me at, was it X now? Yeah, X and Instagram at I am Toney Boi. IamToneyBoi. Um, if you want to find me on Facebook, my government's Bryant Toney. Come kick it with me. I got a lot of great friends on Facebook that it's actually odd how Facebook works out for me. But yeah, those are my two main socials and my Facebook. If you want to tap in, my email is toneyboymusic@gmail. If you want to link, get some records in, and shoot, I'm around.
Are you looking for new artists currently to work with?
No.
Okay, let's put that out there.
But like if there's a mutual, friendship or whatever, like yeah, we can make something work.
Right.
But yeah, they're definitely not looking for just anybody.
Right. And one more time, talk a little bit where they can find Patience Pays at and what they can expect.
Patience Pays, all DSPs. It's a very soulful album. It's got movement. It's got the hard tracks. It's got the uplifting tracks. It's like it's in a nutshell. It's hip hop.
No doubt. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity. Like I said, big shout out to Jerry Graham for connecting us. Anything else you're working on in the future, be sure to come back. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out to the public. That is Toney Boi. I am the Jones Sin-seer. Thank you so much, Toney Boi.
Oh man, thanks for having me, brother.
No doubt. Let's stay locked in.
For sure, man. I need to get your IG and all that too.
Absolutely. I get it. All right. Appreciate you.
Peace, man.
Peace.